So I was waiting. Okay, so I'm pressing that button that allows us to continue. Officially welcome to your chair yoga practice this morning. It's my pleasure to be here to guide you. And if you're not already in your chair, please take a seat. Um, Chair yoga maybe is new for you, or maybe you've done it many times before. I like it. It works. It's a great way to introduce a little bit of movement and breath focus, and then standing for a little bit of strength and mobility focus. So we get all of the pieces that are so beneficial in yoga with a chair. So coming into our opening Shavasana. So we're finding that place of rest before we do anything else. Coming into sitting in the chair, I'd ask you to shift your hips far back into your chair seat, as far as they'll go, and then bring your feet up onto something. So we want to feel a little bit of support here. So feeling as though the knees are above your hips helps those hip flexors to relax. And then I want you to feel as though you have space between the feet, just a little bit about hip distance, maybe a little bit further apart, so you can relax the knees together. In doing this, again, we get quiet into the hips, and it should feel fairly comfortable. So just take a moment and adjust as you need to find that piece. Once you have the legs quiet, I want you to feel into your low back and let it rest into the chair. And then if you can imagine those vertebrae stacking so that you're letting your shoulder blades then, the upper shoulders, sort of lean back that little bit further. From here, let those arms come alongside of the body. And maybe naturally the palms are turning forward, or maybe they're facing in. Wherever they land, just pause here for a moment. And then I would ask you to let your chin begin to guide itself towards your chest. But keep feeling as though your shoulder blades are coming towards the back of the chair. So in this way, you're not rounding forward, you're letting your neck open up. So maybe let it, for a few more breaths, find its way down just that little bit more. Let it be very heavy, but shoulders are moving in the opposite direction from your ears, if you'd like to think about it that way. And then with your next inhale, let's just slowly take the chin up, keeping the gaze soft and down the bridge of your nose, and feel as though the crown of your head is lifting towards the sky. And then I'd like you to guide your shoulders up towards the ears, so give them a squeeze up. And then on the exhale, turn the palms to face forward as you reach those arms down towards the floor. So hands are spread wide, your pointy finger is reaching down towards the floor, that middle finger. Spread the hands just a little bit wider, one more breath. And I'd like you to bend into the elbows, shift them away from the body just enough that you can then place your hands onto your lap. So palms are facing up if that feels okay, and through the shoulders for you. And then just let those hands relax. Let the fingertips and the thumb just naturally curl in. And then just take one more moment to assess your comfort level here and adjust if you need to. You can certainly clasp the hands in the lap. You don't have to leave them as I'm guiding. Find that place that is good for you. And then when you're ready, close your eyes. So we use these first few moments in our practice. Begin to notice our breath. And so maybe you're feeling a small movement in the upper chest. Maybe you can notice the back of the body gently pressing against the chair as the breath comes in on the inhale. Or maybe you aren't feeling any movement with your breath today. That breath is a reflection of our day that has come before, and sometimes it's an anticipatory breath of what is going to come after. So I invite you here to let go of that breathing pattern as we intentionally begin to breathe by drawing the inhale in through your nose and allowing your exhale to travel out through your nose. And at first, just seeing how much breath you can bring into the body before you feel as though, okay, that's enough. Pausing at that place, feeling full, and then exhaling slowly to let it go. pausing at the bottom of that exhale to feel empty of breath before once again allowing that inhale to return. And as we breathe this way, perhaps every inhale just expands from the inside just that little bit more, finding that the edge shifts. So the inhale becomes longer, and then so does the exhale. Start to notice the sensation of the rib cage expanding, the belly rising with the inhale. And on the exhale, can you notice that feeling of grounding, of heaviness, of letting go, and allowing that chair and the floor beneath your feet to support you here. So imagining on the inhale, lightness of being, that lift in the breath. And as your exhale arrives, that letting go, that sensation of putting down heavy grocery bags or luggage, the relief to allow the chair to support you here, before once again allowing that breath on the inhale to bring that lightness. And maybe feeling some balance here, our Samavriti breath, that the inhale and the exhale is equal, and that it is flowing freely. As we move to take that awareness within, and allow the inhale to travel into the tips of your toes, to your fingers, the crown of your head. And then on the exhale, imagine that breath being that lightness that stays within. So inhaling to fill completely with this breath, this lightness, these possibilities, the joy. And then on the exhale, allowing yourself to absorb it completely before once again taking one final breath here, inhaling to fill this breath all the way into the belly, the ribs, the toes, the fingers, the crown of your head. And then slowly the exhale arrives. Before just letting your breath find you, that easy rhythm that you've just cultivated here. And that sense of relaxation and calm. From that place, we're going to find a little bit of movement once again. So I'd like you to just begin by wiggling your fingers, become aware of them, and then move them. And then perhaps wiggle those toes. And then when you're ready, letting the toes and the fingers relax, turning the palms of the hands to the lap if you haven't done so already. And then just gently moving the gaze to the left and the right. Coming through center, just slowly feeling into your neck. And then once we have taken a couple of breaths with the movement left and right, I'd like for you to bring the chin to the chest once again. And then on the exhale, take the gaze up. But think about lengthening as you look up, not crunching through the back of the neck, inhaling to come forward again. So just imagining the length and the space that you're creating. And also noticing any limitations here and not moving beyond them, just feeling into and noticing, modifying as you need. And then one more inhale down, chin to chest. And one more exhale, guiding the gaze up. And then coming back to face center at neutral. From here, I'd like you to shift from whatever is beneath your feet out of the way. So sending those props off to the side. I'm just going to shift my chair here for a moment so that you can just see me a little more clearly. And then coming back to sitting in your chair, feet are now resting on the floor. You can put those arms alongside body once again, turning the palms to face forward. You inhale, I'd like you to bring your belly button to spine and just feel that length come into the spine as you shift those shoulders down and away from the ears. Coming through a half sun salutation to begin. Like you just turn your palms to face the sky as you inhale to sweep up, reach up. And I want you to take your time and feel into the shoulders, that rotation that's happening here. Allow your palms to come together at the top. Your gaze can come up to the hands or just forward, whatever is feeling good for you today. On the exhale, draw your hands down and through heart center. Take 2 more breaths this way. Reaching those fingers, I want you to pause here for a moment. Feel your feet firmly rooted on the floor. Notice your sit bones on the chair. Engage your core. Inhale to sweep up, reach up. And I want you to think about lengthening. I want you to reach those fingertips away from the body and then lift them up to the sky. On this breath, we're going to pause here. Palms are together. We're allowing our palms to press together and then reach just that little bit further towards the sky. Let this come from your shoulder blades. Let them help to lift you up as you root the feet and the sit bones into the chair. Upward salute, 1 more breath. And then exhale to draw your hands down and through heart center. And take 1 more like this, reach those fingertips with everything in mind. We inhale to sweep up, reach up. And then we exhale to guide hands down through heart center. We're going to release our hands to the sides of our chair. From here, taking a nice tall spine, bringing the body upwards, so we're not leaning against the back of the chair here. From here, we're going to rock side to side. So just keep those hands on the chair seat just as you move through the hips, left to right. And as we become aware of those hips on the chair, we're going to shimmy them forward. So we do this little shift with the hips through the pelvis and bring those feet forward along with your sit bones. We want to have about 1/3 of the seat of our legs attached to your seat. So you're still feeling nice and firmly rooted here, safe and comfortable, but enough that you've got some space here for the legs to be free. Let's bring those feet hip distance apart, toes are pointing forward here, and then find that nice tall spine again. So we wrap the ribs, we bring the abdomen in and up, we lengthen up through the crown of the head, we roll those shoulders up and back and release the palms to face forward. Tadasana of the chair, so mountain pose. I want you to feel as though you're spreading your toes nice and wide. Hopefully you've got bare feet there. And then lay those toes back down onto the floor in that nice widened position. Push your feet into the floor, ignite the thighs, squeeze the glutes, and then feel the crown of the head lift that little bit higher to the sky as you work your shoulder blades down and onto the spine. You can feel every muscle in your body working here. Spread your fingers, reach the crown, take 3 full breaths. Feel the strength here, that energy that is within just simply by becoming aware and engaging in this position. And then with your next inhale, we're going to turn those palms up. Inhale to sweep up, reach up. And this time on the exhale, we're going to twist open to the right side. So as you exhale, leading with the heart, opening up the arms to the right. This is coming from the rib cage. You need a nice engagement through the abdomen to help shine your heart to the right. Take a big inhale and exhale. And then with your next inhale, sweeping up to center. And then exhaling to open up to the left. Reaching wide and only going as far as you're comfortable, staying for 1 breath. Flowing through this movement, inhaling up to center, exhaling to twist open. Inhaling up to center, exhaling to twist open. So I want you to feel like a corkscrew here. Inhale, center, and exhale, open. Continue to feel your feet on the floor. Continue to engage your legs. Find the marriage of movement and breath. Reaching and extending. Shining the heart, guiding the spine and the rib cage. We'll take 1 more round on each side. Finding our way through center before now landing on the left. Inhaling back up to center. And then bringing those hands together on the exhale, guiding down and through heart center. From here, we're going to release our hands onto our thighs. You're going to heel toe your legs open just so that they're outside of the hips. Gives you a nice space to drop in between the thighs here. So allowing your hands to press into the legs, ignite the back of the arms, and squeeze them in towards the body. We're going to inhale to lengthen, and then on the exhale, we are hinging forward from your hip. Keep your back nice and flat. Allow the arms to work and stay connected. And then when you've come far enough where you're not in a position of rounding, we're going to exhale and press back up to seated. So we're going to inhale to lengthen, tall spine, engage the core. Exhale to hinge forward. Stay for your inhale. Stay for your exhale. Inhale, let's come back up. So we're going to add on here. We're going to fold a little bit deeper. We're going to inhale to lengthen. On the exhale, we are folding. We're moving towards forward fold. So I want you to let yourself come down as far as you can, not feeling as though you're rounding just yet. Pause and take a breath. And then I'd like you to come into a forward fold. So keep your feet firmly rooted, so your sit bones on the chair. You can leave your hands on your thighs and just simply let yourself come in between the legs. Or you can allow your hands to come in between and land on the floor or on top of those pillows if that would be more comfortable for you. And let yourself dangle. Arms can even be on the outsides of the legs if that works for you. So in this position, we're in an inversion. And we are feeling length and openness to that lower back. You're letting your shoulders relax and your head simply to dangle. So all the benefits of a handstand happening here. Let every exhale bring softness. Let the back of the body breathe. Stay connected to your feet. So the legs aren't relaxed here. They're helping to hold you. They're engaged. But your spine is open and long. One more breath. Feeling the heart rate slow, the breath slow. And from here on the inhale, let's just slowly come up. So if your hands are between the legs on the floor, just lifting and allowing your hands to come to your thighs. From our thighs, we're going to keep those arms tight towards the body as we press into the hands against the thighs to lift ourselves up. We're going to bring our heart forward, elbows pointing behind us, gaze forward, coming into cobra. So there's a tiny little back bend happening here. It feels as though you're sticking your tailbone out, you're wagging your tail, and then you're letting that heart shine forward, keeping those arms engaged. Just feel that length. Bhujangasana, one more breath. And then on your exhale, we're going to slide our hands onto the knees, so coming forward to the kneecaps as you hold on and round through your back. So we're rolling back on the pelvis. We're letting that spine round, letting the shoulder blades come away and taking our chin towards the chest. Your gaze is to your belly button. Cat. So moving through Bhujangasana and cat. On your inhale, come forward again, slide the hands onto the thighs, bend the elbows, hinging forward at the hips, shining the heart forward as you stick out your tail. And then exhale, come into that cat to grab a hold of the knees, round through the spine, chin to chest, gaze to belly. Inhale, come forward into our cobra, heart lifts. Squeeze the upper arms in, press the hands into the thighs, shine your heart. And then exhale, cat, not Bhujangasana. Into that cat, make it an angry cat. Separate the shoulders away from your spine. Feel the openness. Drop chin to chest to get a little more length. And then final round, coming forward into cobra on the inhale, hinging and then shining. And then exhale, finding your way into that last cat. And just holding here for a breath or two. Letting it feel open and spacious back there. Shoulders and back. And then inhaling, sliding those hands along the legs to help you press up, lifting the heart towards the sky this time. Taking the gaze right along with it, like there is a string lifting your sternum up. Squeeze those elbows down and behind you. And then exhale, come to a nice tall spine. From here, we're going to take our hands behind us. So I'd like you to grab a hold of your chair seat, or if you have some sides of your chair that you can grab, that might be more available for you here. Taking a camel pose, taking the spine through its final movement here. We're going to inhale to lengthen, and then on the exhale, using those arms for leverage, maybe bending into the elbows, just lifting the heart up, gaze up or gaze forward. And again, it's just that little bit of space. So lifting through the heart, lengthening to the spine. Let's inhale, come back up to a nice tall spine, and then exhale to come in once again. Keep feeling your feet on the floor. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to open up. One final inhale. One final exhale. And then inhaling to come back to center. We're going to bring our legs just a little bit closer. Coming into a thigh stretch, a calf stretch, a hamstring stretch. Janushirasana with a chair. So we're going to extend our left leg long. So I'd like you to extend that left leg out in front. Flex through those left toes so you have a nice long, tall leg. I'll turn this way, maybe that'll be easier for you to see here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So foot is flexed, leg is straight, right foot is planted on the floor, and we're keeping it so it's nice and connected, so the muscles are still working, we're staying engaged. From this place, we're gonna bring our hands to our thighs, inhaling to lengthen, and exhaling to fold. So you're gonna start to feel this in your own body, in your own way, somewhere up the back of the leg, maybe even into the back of the glutes. I want you to pause where you feel sensation, and that is where we know to breathe. So we meet our edge, that edge of tension. Notice what has happened to your breath. We tend to hold our breath when something is challenging or uncomfortable. So encourage the breath deep in the belly. We also want to know that the edge is not pain. It's just a little bit of tension. And when we meet that tension with breath and pause, the tension will soften and maybe we can move deeper. So focusing within as we breathe here. Our inhales bring length from the crown of the head to the tailbone. On the exhale, we bring a little bit of depth. Find your edge. Breathe wherever you have landed. Notice the sensation. And move deeper when you're ready. Let me take one more big breath here. And then on your exhale, pressing into those hands to help you lift up to a tall spine, we'll draw that left foot in and extend the right. So same setup, flex through the foot, but notice maybe the side is just a little bit different. With hands ready, inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to deepen. So maybe the fold is not as deep on the side, maybe it's a little bit deeper. Inhale, we lengthen, tailbones reaching long and away from the crown of your head. Exhale, we fold. So we're hinging through the pelvis here. Big breath into your belly, don't forget, shoulders away from your ears. Find that tension and breathe. Take one more round. Maybe you have more space. And then exhaling to press all the way up and draw that right foot in. From here, we're going to move into Warrior Two in our chair. So I'd like you to shift how you are sitting. So right now, you're on the front edge. I'd like you to pivot so you're sitting on the corner of your chair. So what this allows is just a little more room for your legs and your hips to articulate as we come through Warrior Two. So legs are open into Goddess here. So we're just going to pause in Goddess before we move into Warrior Two. So your toes are out on a 45. Your spine is nice and tall. We're going to extend those arms off to the side, spreading those hands wide and then closing the fingers. We're going to inhale, bend into the elbows. Exhale to open them up. Inhale, bend. Exhale to open. Inhale to bend. Exhale to open. We are going to change this. Keep feeling your feet rooting onto the floor and the knees reaching for your baby toe sides of the feet. Now guide those arms in. Exhale to open, extend up. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So with your breath, we move, squeezing elbows towards each other, reaching up for the sky. Maybe you're just reaching out to the sides. Wherever you have mobility, ability, work with what makes sense within your body. It is all about the breath. Feel your feet on the floor as we move. Keep those legs reaching open, knees for baby toe sides of your feet. Last round. A little bit of brain power here as well, as we have to think about what we're doing. On this last breath, coming down into Goddess, which is squeeze those shoulder blades together on your back as you reach the crown of your head up, press the feet into the floor and activate your glutes here. The inner thighs are working. The crown is lifting up, shoulder blades are activated, whole body here is engaged. Shoulder blades again, squeeze together on your back, down. And then exhale. We're gonna let those hands come down to your lap, moving into Warrior Two. So we're gonna shift. So I want you to take your attention and your focus on your left leg. We're keeping that left leg bent and the knee bent as well. We're gonna extend our right leg. So we have a couple of options here depending on your hips. So you can just reach that right leg out, flat with the edge of the foot extended, or you can heel toe that hip behind you and allow the foot to come behind you. So whether it's out the side, out at a 45, out behind you all the way, find that place where you're still comfortably rooted onto the chair. You're reaching for that straight leg if you've got it, whether it's out to the side like a kickstand or it's coming a little further behind. We're turning to face this front leg. I want you to feel yourself reach through that outside edge of the right foot. Feel that left foot plant onto the floor. And imagine that by pressing our feet into the floor, we're able to lift the pelvis up off the chair. Engage your legs. From here, we find our Warrior Two arms. We're gonna reach those arms long. So left hand reaching forward, right hand reaching behind. Feel as though this shoulder is opening up and that right shoulder blade is sliding onto your back. Lift the crown of your head up once again and let your gaze come over left fingertips. Taking 3 full breaths here. Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 1, and Virabhadrasana 2. So left fingertips are resting in the future. Right fingertips are reaching for the past. And you, dear heart, are in this moment, in the center of this posture, in the center of your breath. After this third breath, we're going to add a little bit of movement. Coming into our exalted warrior, we're going to let our right hand come down to grab a hold of the chair seat or reach down your leg, whichever is most accessible. Left palm turns to face the sky as we inhale and reach up. So feeling left side body lengthen and maybe a little bit of a back bend here. We stay for one breath. And then we inhale to float ourselves back up to warrior two, staying for one breath. Inhale, reversing the warrior, exalting, staying for that breath. And then inhaling to come back up. Feel your feet. Exalt your warrior. Come back to warrior two. Let your core initiate the movement. Inhale. Inhale. Last round. Inhale to rise. Inhale to come into warrior two. And exhale to let that go. From here, we're going to draw that right leg in, so heel toe to come back, and then we'll switch sides. So you can switch sides from here. You don't have to turn to the other corner. We can do it right from here. We're going to extend that left leg out and turn to face the right. Again, making sure that you feel like you're stable here. If you'd prefer to use the other corner of the chair, please do so. Find yourself firmly rooted. Reach through that outside edge of that left foot and let that right foot land. And then feel that lift, that stack. Use the core to lengthen. And then floating those arms up, warrior two in our chair. Gaze over right fingertips. Shoulders down and away from the ear, letting the left shoulder now slide onto the back of the shoulder blade, find its way. And then find your breath, your focus. Gaze over right fingertips. Keep pressing the feet into the floor as though you'd like to lift your pelvis up off the chair. Feel that muscle engagement. You are working here. You are breathing. You are feeling. One more breath. And then coming into our exalted warrior flow. Inhale, left arm floats behind as the right arm reaches. We stay for one full breath. And then we float ourselves back into warrior two. So moving with your breath, your rhythm. Let your core initiate the movement. Feel yourself bring belly button to spine, wrap in the ribs to extend and lengthen. Don't stop feeling your feet. Feel flowy. Last round, exalting the warrior. Come back to warrior two when you're ready. And then exhaling to allow your hands to come down to the thighs. Using that left foot to bring you in back to center. Staying on the corner of that chair seat, coming through our extended side angle here to finish our practice in the chair. So we're going to bring our left arm and the left forearm to our thigh. I want you to keep lengthening your spine. So if you find that you're having to round to get that arm down, just bring the hand to the thigh and bend into the elbow. If you'd like to try that forearm, we're going to inhale to lengthen. On the exhale, we're going to let that forearm land on the thigh, turning the left palm up to the sky. We're going to take our right hand and we're going to bring it to the back of our right hip. We want to have the elbow reaching behind us as we slide that right shoulder onto the back. Again, we're going to inhale to lengthen. So once you feel yourself drop that right hip down as you reach the crown of the head away from the pelvis. And then on the exhale, add a little bit of a twist as you take your gaze up and turn the heart towards the sky. If you are comfortable here and you have more room, you're going to release that right hand and reach it up as well. Keeping the left arm active. So you're pushing the forearm into the thigh to keep the body working here. Engage your core. Taking 3 full breaths. And then on your exhale, floating that right hand down to right thigh, slowly pressing yourself up to center, and we'll switch sides. So allowing that right forearm now to come to right thigh, And being mindful that maybe this side is not the same as the other, so maybe the hand makes more sense here for you this morning. Turning that right palm up, take that left hand to the back of left hip. Let's inhale to lengthen, and then on the exhale, add that little bit of a twist. Reaching the heart towards the sky. If you're good here, I'm going to release those left fingertips up as well. Find your breath. Find that length. And then when your next exhale arrives, let's just release that left hand, coming back to center and coming up. I'm going to heel toe those legs back together. I'm going to bring them and ourselves back to center of that chair seat. Bring your heels just a little bit closer towards your chair seat. And we're going to come up through Utkatasana. So we want to have our heels resting into the floor and maybe flip your toes up for a moment. Just feel what happens when you press the heels into the floor. It ignites the glutes, the backs of your thighs. You want to use that energy to lift us up. Hands can come to prayer, or you can allow hands just to sort of rest at that chair seat so that you are feeling stable and comfortable. When you are ready, we inhale to hinge just a little bit, and then on the exhale, hands can come to thighs, hands can come to heart center as we push up and lift to stand. Once we are in standing, just take a breath here. On the exhale, we're going to come into chair, Utkatasana. So on your breath, bending into the knees, taking those hips back. But we're not going to come all the way into the chair, but we know that it's there. There's some safety here. On your exhale, pressing up to rise. So using those legs, inhale to lengthen, exhale, sit those hips back, keep your heart lifted and gaze forward. Exhale, press up to stand. One more round, inhale to lengthen, exhale, in, sink, and take a breath here. Press into your heels, find those glutes, and then exhale, come all the way back up. We're going to turn and face our chair seat now. So we're going to come through a couple of rounds of cat and cow this morning. So standing just far enough that you can bend into your knees and release your hands to the chair seat. If you feel like that chair seat is far away, bring a pillow, some books, something to bring the chair seat a little bit closer so you can actually bring a nice long spine into the body. So we want our ankles underneath our hips. Hands can grab a hold of the outside edges of the chair seat. If that is more comfortable for the shoulders, you want to slide those shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen the crown of the head away from the tailbone. This is our table. Bring a little bit of a bend into your knee if that is more comfortable for you, especially if your hamstrings are tight. You will want that little bit of comfort. We want our shoulders landing over our wrists, so adjust. From here, taking one more breath, engage your core, support low back. And then we inhale to come into cow. So we bend into our knees, bend into the elbows, tip the tailbone up, and take your gaze towards the back of the chair. So it's like we're creating a smile in your spine. On the exhale, come into cat, press into the hands, straighten the legs. You want to tip your tailbone down, belly button forward, take your chin to chest, and gaze to belly. It should feel like a really good stretch here through that low back. Keep pressing the spine up to the sky. Inhale to come into your cow. We're going to flow through this with our breath. And then find the exhale and find your cat. Pausing in a place that feels really good for you. Let it guide you, your sensations. Listening to what you need from your practice today. Take one final round of breath. Finishing in your cat. And then coming back to table from there. Once we arrive in table again, we're coming to a forward fold from here. So we want to bring a little bit of a bend into your knees. We're going to keep holding onto the chair seat as we allow the body to fold forward. So engaging your core. On your exhale, bending into the elbows, allowing yourself to hinge at the hips and fold.
So your forehead may come to touch the chair seat. It might not. You want to use pillows or anything to guide you here. Allow yourself to find a soft forward fold. So don't force it, support it. With your exhale, we're going to press into those hands and come back up to a nice flat back. Take your gaze up. Exhale, hinge, and forward fold. Try to straighten through the legs and press the backs of your thighs away from you. Take one breath in your fold. Exhale to rise. Find that nice flat back and just take your gaze up. Last time. Exhale to fold. Straighten the legs as much as you can. As you hinge, releasing where it's comfortable. Feel tension in the backs of the legs. That's what we're looking for here. And then exhale, let's rise. Gaze up. And then from here, bending those knees just enough that hands can transfer, and then slowly roll yourself up, one vertebrae at a time before arriving and standing. We'll turn our chair seat around so that we have the chair back available to us here. So we're going to come into pyramid posture this morning. So I'd like you to place your left foot close to the back of the chair. Fingertips are going to remain on the back of the chair, and then just step back with the right. So you're stepping back far enough that you're still able to bring that right hip forward and left hip into alignment. Your right heel is reaching towards the floor, but your toes are trying to point forward. They might be out on a little bit of a 45 on that right leg. Fingertips are resting against the back of the chair for stability. And then I want you to reach through the feet, straightening through the legs, and reach that crown up to the sky. We take an inhale to lengthen, and then on your exhale, we are hinging forward here. So you're gonna get a sensation up through the back of your left leg. You're coming with a nice flat back. Find your edge, gaze towards that chair seat, and then exhale to rise up. Use the arms. Inhale, hinge. Stay for a breath or two. And then exhale to press in and rise up. Take one more here. Inhale to lengthen. Exhaling as you fold. Reach that left hip back. Feel into the leg. Last breath. And then exhale, we rise. We're going to switch sides. So just bend in and switch. Bring your right foot forward. Left foot comes back. Again, finding that nice alignment, facing that chair seat. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold. Looking for sensation now in the back of the right leg. Press up to rise, moving with breath, keeping it nice and full. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we rise. Lengthening up, folding from the pelvis here. Feeling yourself maybe be able to move a little bit deeper here to the back of that right leg. And then once again, pressing all the way up. This time we're going to leave our right foot forward as we shift and face that left side, pivoting through that left foot. Coming into warrior two in a standing position, right hand is going to remain on that chair seat. We'll just heel toe our left foot away so we can comfortably bend in to that right knee. We're reaching to the outside edge of that right foot. Right hand remains on the chair for balance. Bending into that right knee as much as you're comfortable, as long as that knee is not going over your ankle. We're going to extend those left fingertips. Gaze over right shoulder. If you're feeling comfortable, balance is good, we're going to reach those right fingertips up. From here, the fingertips down or fingertips up, we're going to straighten that right leg. So we're going to exhale, press into that right leg to straighten. As we lift those arms overhead, gaze comes up. Exhale, come all the way back down. Inhale, hip hand is on chair, left arm just reaches. We straighten through the front leg.
And then exhale, we bend in. Take your variation and move with your breath. Core remains engaged, bending into that right knee, pushing in through the heel to help you rise. And exhale, coming down and warrior two. Let your gaze follow the right hand. Take one more round. Land in that warrior two. This time we feel the feet and we energetically drag those feet together as though we are lifting everything up from center. One more breath. And then exhale, letting it go. Feel toe to come back in, and we'll switch sides. I'm just going to shift the chair so you can see that opposite leg, but you take whatever position you need to do. So left foot is forward, stepping back with the right, heel toeing and finding those warrior two legs. So left toes forward, the back right foot creates a T so that the arch of the left foot is meeting the arch of the right foot. Bending into that left knee, extending the right arm out. Perhaps you're staying here, and so we are moving, inhaling to straighten and lift, and then exhaling to lower. Using both arms, we feel length every time we move. We feel breath. But that breath and that energy that is rooted through your feet help you rise. Push into the floor with the feet and lift those fingertips even just that little bit higher. Feel the flow of energy moving within you here, from the bottom to the top. Take one more round. Land in that warrior two, pause and hold for a breath. And then exhale, straightening, floating the arms down, taking a hold of the back of the chair, and then turning to face that back of the chair. We're going to come into a modified downward facing dog. So allow your hands to rest on the back of the chair about shoulder distance apart. We're going to walk our feet behind us, keeping our hips over the ankles as we find our ears coming between the arms. And we bend those knees as much as we need to allow your belly and thigh to come together here. So we want to feel length. We want to feel tailbone reach away from fingertips. Let your shoulders come up towards the ears. Engage your belly button to spine. It'll feel far more supportive through that low back. Breathe into those ribs. Make space in the back of the body. One more nice big breath here. And then inhaling to walk the feet forward again. Take your gaze to the chair. Nice. And then from here, turning to face towards the right side. We'll leave our left hand on that chair seat. Coming to a little side bend. So allowing feet to be hip distance apart. We're going to reach our right fingertips. Palm faces the sky. Inhale to reach up. And then exhale to bend. So just reaching right fingertips towards the left side. Keep that right shoulder blade on your back and take your arm behind so your gaze comes up and under. Feeling yourself root down with that right hip. So side body opens up and then send the ribs and the breath into that right side. Shoulder doesn't allow this. You can always bring your hand to shoulder and just push out through those ribs. Get that same sensation inside body. And then inhale, floating all the way back up. We'll switch sides. The right hand is coming to chair seat. Left hand reaches. Inhale to scoop and lengthen, reach, and then exhale to bend in. We're just letting those hips lift off to the left side, gaze up and under. Again, breathe into the ribs, open it up. Move that last rib away from your hip. Notice your breath. And then inhale to float all the way back up. We are coming to sit once again in our chair. Come through our final sun salutation flow together. So just take a moment to place yourself in front of your chair seat so that you know you're going to land comfortably. So heels are close, have a look, and we'll come through Utkatasana to find our way there. So feet are hip distance, toes are spread wide. Begin to bend your knees. Lift your hands to your heart in prayer or extend them out in front for a little more challenge. Take a nice big inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, we deepen in. Heart stays lifted, hips are coming behind you. Pause for a moment of challenge if you want to build a little more strength here this morning. And then exhale to lower all the way down into your chair. So good. So from here, let's find our Tadasana of the chair again. I'm going to bring those feet forward, shimmy those hips, so that you have, again, that nice stable position. From here, we're going to release our arms alongside of the body, palms face forward. Just spread your toes wide again, press the feet into the floor, ignite the body. Find that muscle engagement, shoulders down and away from your ears. And then from here, we take 3 sun salutations. So we inhale to sweep up, reach up. Doing that length. And on the exhale, we're going to dive forward for forward fold. So we open the arms up, we hinge at the hips, we let our hands come to our thighs, and we fold all the way over. So let your head dangle. And take 1 breath here. And then on our exhale, we're going to push our hands into the thighs, squeeze the upper arms coming into cobra. So heart lifts forward, we stay low, move those shoulders onto your back. Exhale, we're going to round forward here into our cat. So grab a hold of the knees, chin to chest, gaze to belly, shoulders facing, breath full. Inhale, we rise. So we're going to slide our hands under the thighs to help us lift through the heart. We take our heart to the sky. And then exhale, we find a nice tall spine. And we're going to bring our left knee in. So gather your hands behind the left thigh as we inhale and squeeze the thigh in towards the belly. Let your back round here. Make that connection. And then exhale to let it go. Right side. Inhale, grabbing a hold of right leg, squeezing in. And then exhale to let it go. Releasing into Tadasana. So 2 more rounds, just like that. Slow in with your breath. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, diving forward, forward fold. Inhale, cobra, heart forward, gaze forward. Exhale, coming into cat. Inhale, rising up with the heart, lifting it up to the sky. And then exhale, tall spine. Inhale, left thigh comes in, give yourself a squeeze. Exhale to let it go. Right side comes in, give it a squeeze. Exhale to let it go. Find your Tadasana. Final round. Inhale, sweep up, reach up. Exhale, fold it forward. Feel your feet on the ground. They be rooted and connected. Inhale, rise up into your cobra. Exhale, round through, find your cat. Inhale, lifting the heart. And exhale, tall spine. Inhale, left leg comes in, give yourself a nice big squeeze. Exhale to let it go. Inhale, right leg comes in, give yourself a nice big squeeze. Exhale to let it go. Inhale, find your Tadasana. From here, we shift. So we find our way back into our Shavasana to find that place of stillness before we are complete in our practice. So just shimmying those hips back, bringing those blocks back underneath your feet or whatever you have there. And as we find that place of stillness, let the upper body relax into the chair. Allow your hands to come into the lap. You can interlace fingers, but just find that place where you can pause, close your eyes. And I'll leave you to breathe for a few moments here because I want you to connect to sensation. So feel that hum and that buzz within. That sensation of energy moving and shifting. Feel the flow. No boundaries or barriers. Just vibration and hum. So breathing quietly here for a few more moments. I'll bring you back to the surface with a few words. This is the recipe for life, said my mother, as she held me in her arms as I wept. Think of those flowers that you plant in the garden every year. They will teach you that people too must wilt and fall and root and then rise in order to bloom. In life and in yoga. And so with these words, I gently awaken you from your very brief Shavasana. And I would ask you to once again, just find a little bit of movement in fingers and toes and keep your eyes closed as we take a breath together to close the class. So releasing those arms long beside the body. We inhale from here, sweeping up and reaching up and collecting all of that amazing energy that is surrounding you. And we capture it at the top. And on the exhale, we draw it down and into heart center. As we bow our chin to chest. We pause for a moment of gratitude for yourself, for making time to practice yoga. And I thank you so much for the privilege of guiding you through that practice today. From my heart to yours, namaste.